The long-term growth and overall success of the team you lead hinges on the health of not only the people who make the team, but the overall health of the leadership. If the team naturally adopts the leader's mindset, attitude, and character, then that means that the leadership cannot be easily shaken. Today, I want to share with you how a strong posture in spiritual, mental, and emotional health can provide the platform for a strong and effective team that will be built for impact. We know that the most effective leaders lead with a real and authentic approach. So we're looking at what it looks like to lead real and how we can be effective by applying this concept to the way we lead. I titled this one, When Leadership Gets Real. Allow me to welcome you into a new episode of That's the Truth. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to That's the Truth podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I am J.Gallegos, and my goal here today is to help you get one step closer and further along in becoming who God has intended you to be, one step at a time, so you can be effective and make an impact in every area of your life. So if this is your first time with us, you can expect a new episode bi-weekly, the first Friday of every month. It'll be just you and me, just like today, followed by a conversation later with a guest later in the month. So far, we have had some amazing people, friends, and leaders join us on the podcast. And just so you know, in the following weeks, you will get to hear from the TDV/LT Youth Ministry team. And on August 26th, they will be hosting a one-night event for young adults called For My Good. You can find more information via their Instagram page at _HTX. And also, I have the privilege and honor of speaking at that event alongside with Jacob Moreno, who is bringing the keynote. And it is a privilege to share the stage with them. Julio Olivares and Alex Perez will be translating for our Spanish speakers. So August 26th, we would love to see you there. We also had the opportunity to sit down and had a great conversation with the next gen pastor, Josh Garcia from First Church in Pearland, Texas, as well as the pastor, Ulises Longoria. He spoke to us and sat down with us and shared some wisdom. And that was very, very insightful. And we are looking forward to bringing you those conversations very soon. Also, keep an eye out for bonus content. So go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss out on anything. A big thank you to everyone who has already subscribed, provided feedback, or has shared the podcast already on social media. Thank you so much for that. It really helps to extend the reach of the podcast as we invite others to join the community. So today, my focus is geared towards youth ministry, but if you lead any other type of group or lead in a secular occupation or space, the concepts we are sharing here today are completely transferable and applicable. So let's jump into today's topic. The long-term growth and overall success of the team hinges on the health of not only the people, but the overall health of the leadership. The team will naturally adopt the leader's mindset, attitude, and character. So what that means is that the leadership should not be easily shaken. A strong position in spiritual, mental, and emotional health will provide the platform for a strong and effective team that will be built for impact. In other words, they will be prepared to face anything. The tone and the temperature of the group is established by the leadership. A healthy leadership will build strong, effective teams, and any type of team will deal with real people and real problems. So this requires a real leadership. But what does it mean and what does it look like to lead real? Allow me to break it down into an acronym that helped me, and I hope that it helps you the same way. So let's get real. R.E.A.L. Relevant, effective, approachable, and loving. So let's start off with relevant as we break this down. It is possible to get out of the box and stay within the book. If you follow the Bible to lead your teams, we use the Word of God for our lives. We use the Word of God for everything, and that is our foundation. But it is possible to get out of the box and still stay within the book in order to stay relevant. You have to know your group. You have the space to be creative, but you have to know your group. Know what they like and know what they don't like. Know what they dislike. Get creative, but you also have to speak their language. If they can identify with it, they will relate and be receptive. What do they respond best to? Don't be surprised if you are required to leave your comfort zone. And you have to keep in mind, remember that it is all about them and not about us. If you are focusing your events, your planning, or whatever it is that you're doing, your leadership style, if it's focused or geared towards your benefit, you might want to take a step back and reanalyze. With every event or team building activity, it requires the backbone of purpose. Establish a clear vision. So I want you to ask yourself the following 2 questions. And with every letter of the acronym, we're going to be asking 2 questions at the end. So with relevant, I want you to ask yourself the following 2 questions. What do we want to accomplish? Number 1. And number 2, how can we deliver to the level and the culture the young people understand and accept? Or if you lead any other type of team, how can we deliver to the level of the culture the team understands and accepts? Number 1, what do we want to accomplish? And 2, how can we deliver to their level? Let's move on to effective. Target every idea to a specific need. If you have the need in mind, if you are need focused, you will be able to deliver. You will be able to establish and meet that specific need. Leaders find the needs and they meet those needs. When a need is met, it will always be effective, like filling a vacant and obvious void. It's like quenching a thirst. An event can be executed to perfection, meeting your expectation, but it does not guarantee that it will be effective. Focus on what the need is. Planning must be intentional. Tailor your thinking to your group or your team, and just because it worked for someone else does not mean that it will work for you as well. You can take the ideas, you can modify it, but you have to tailor it to your group. And keep in mind, if it worked for someone else, it does not guarantee that it will work for you. 2 questions. What are they going to remember? What are they going to remember? And number 2, what is making a difference right now? Continue doing what works, but adjust what doesn't. Make slight adjustments. And keep in mind that if you have to go back and redo the entire thing and start over from square one, you have to tear it down and rebuild, then there's something wrong. I don't advise that. But what you want to do is take a step back, continue doing what is working, and redo and adjust, make slight adjustments on the things that are not really hitting home, and then go from there. But if you have to redo the entire thing, then there's something wrong. So let's talk about how to be approachable. If the people you lead can trust you, they will approach you. If the people you lead can trust you, they will approach you. Many people have walked out of their lives and or have quit on them. Many have disappointed them in so many different ways, and you do not want to be the next person that walks out or quits on them. We believe in people, we build people up, and we don't tear people down. If trust is truly established, it will be felt. If trust is truly established, they're going to feel that trust. And trust requires intentional relationship building with specific people. They will remember how you made them feel more than what you had to say. They will remember more how you made them feel more than what you had to say. And 2 questions here. How can I build trust and loyalty? And number 2, do they feel that I am too busy? We're talking about approachable. Do they feel that I am too busy? And that's an important question, because if the people that you lead feel that you are way too busy, they're going to think twice before they approach you with something, because the first thing that comes to mind is you being involved with so many different things. The first thing that they're going to think about is you being too busy and don't have time for them. So 2 questions. How can I build trust and loyalty? And number 2, do they feel that I am too busy? You want to keep those 2 questions in mind when you're trying to be more approachable. So let's move on to loving. We're moving a little quick here, but these are very, very important. Let's move to loving. R.E.A.L. We're talking about how to lead real. Loving. Love must be demonstrated repeatedly, deliberately. It must be thoughtful, and it must be purposeful. Love must be demonstrated repeatedly, deliberately. It must be thoughtful, and it must be purposeful. Let's talk about deliberately first. Love is what binds us together. It is proven best when it is demonstrated deliberately. When you express it often, they feel it and they know that it is sincere. It doesn't catch them by surprise because they have seen it often. It's deliberate. They know that it comes from you and they know that it's sincere. Let's talk about thoughtful. Demonstrating thoughtful love gives longevity to the relationships. The most thoughtful examples out of love have the power to change someone's life. When you let that person know that you've been thinking about them, you're praying for them, you're backing them up, you're building them up, that is demonstrating your thoughtfulness, and it's building the trust within that person. It's demonstrating the love deliberately. So let's talk about purposeful. Loving people on purpose requires a tough skin and a soft heart. I'll say that again because it's so important and you want to keep that in mind. Loving people on purpose requires a tough skin and a soft heart. Be ready to pour yourself out without any expectation. Be ready to pour yourself out without expecting anything in return. And this is the perfect example of how Jesus loved the church. Be ready to pour yourself out without expecting anything in return. So here's 2 questions. When was the last time that I took the time to demonstrate love for the group I lead? When was the last time that I took the time to demonstrate the love for the group I lead? And the second question, how often do I demonstrate it? How often do I demonstrate it? Practice consistency and demonstrate it in different ways. That is leading real. That is when your leadership gets real. R.E.A.L. You're relevant, you're effective, you're approachable, and you're loving. And there's so many ways to break this down, but that is something that has helped me that I want to share with you. And if you apply it, I know it's going to be helpful for you. So here are some additional thoughts to today's teaching. I want to talk about unity, and this should be a staple within your team building initiatives. When we talk about unity, we talk about bringing people together and establishing a culture of unity. When the group is united, it opens the door to growth and a healthy culture. A united group can have the force and strength required to make a difference in today's society and to change today's world. Another additional thought I want to share with you is avoid the comparison trap. You can be influenced by positive things that others are doing, but stay centered enough to not be intimidated. Stay centered enough to not be intimidated. Learn from others, applaud the success of others, but if you are intimidated, you might want to take a step back and reanalyze because you probably took a wrong turn somewhere. Stay centered, love others, applaud their success, learn from others, but if you are intimidated, then there's something wrong. Another additional thought that I want to share with you is preparation is key. Prepare in advance. Avoid last minutes. Avoid any last minutes. Preparation is key. Leaders must remain students and continue learning through the Word of God, learning through books, through mentors, through our own observations of success and failures. And you have to maintain a student mindset. Preparation is key and maintaining a student mindset. And last thought for today, resources. Find resources that will expand your thinking. Find the resources that will challenge the paradigms and the things that will help you grow. Work consistently and intentionally to improve and apply what you learn. This will reflect in how you lead, and it will naturally come out of you. It will naturally pour out, and this will reflect in how you lead and will naturally pour itself into the group you lead. When you pour resources into you, they will naturally pour out into the group you lead. Keep in mind that the information retention followed by application will lead to transformation. You want to transform the way you lead. You want to transform the way you think. You want to lead real. Keep in mind that the information retention followed by application will lead to transformation. That means that you want to take in the resources. You want to absorb, learn from others, learn from the books, learn from the podcast, learn from the people around you, from your mentors. Use these resources, retain the information, but you also have to apply it. Apply what you learn, apply what you're talking about, be real about it, retain the information, apply what you have learned, and this will lead to a transformation. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's podcast and you found this helpful in some way, let us know about it. I would love to connect with you on social media. In the description below, you will find the links. You can also visit the blog page where you can find more helpful content like this at inspired2inspire.org. That's inspired, the number 2, inspired.org. And you will be able to find the links also in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. I encourage you to help us reach others by rating, leave a review, or share it on social media. And that would mean so much to me, and I would be very, very appreciative of that. In the meantime, continue moving forward in the direction God is leading you. Continue taking steps closer in becoming who God has intended you to be, so you can be impactful in every area of your life. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.